Now that we've drawn our cabinet that looks like this, we want to look at making drawings that are like this. So these are our orthogonal projection drawings. So definitely shows that higher order skill, and it's actually something that Fusion 360 does very well. So once you've drawn everything, you need to make sure your drawing is saved. So it does save periodically, but make sure you go to the very top here, click on Save. Now you're clicking on Design, and you want to go to Drawing from your design. Over here, it comes up with a few little things. We want to go to our visible, tell it full assembly. Full assembly. We want to be a new drawing from scratch, isometric, and it's going to be A3. So it's going to be 430 wide in A3 drawing. We tell it OK. So it's going to open up a whole different part of Fusion. Give it a moment. Depending on your laptop, may take a few moments here, but it is opening a very impressive part of Fusion. So here we are. Here's our drawing. Over here on our left is where we look at our different scales. If I was to paste that right now, that's everything that's going to show. I actually want to change my ratio. If I press these three dots, I can pick a different set of ratios. 1 to 8 makes it this big. We go down to 1 to 5. For our very first drawing, I'm happy to have that as what we put down. So if I click onto this, it's also asking me, do you want to be able to view the edges, wireframe? We just say OK. That's what our wireframe looks like. If we want to change that, we double click and then select from different component parts. So we will also be able to change these orientations. But if we click once it's placed, we can then look at our different projections. So if I move that to the right, to the left, up top, and then our front on, and we press enter. At the moment, there's definitely way too much going on here. Now, for this particular drawing, I don't need the component on the right, which if you notice is our doors as its 4 separate pieces, but our doors in our cabinet are all combined together. So if I press this eyesight over here, so if I take off my door style, rail, and rail, I now am left with this section here. Now it moves everything in ratio, if you like. So we're now going to drop that top part of our cabinet down, and we can drag this guy in to show what we're doing now. We do actually have, now when we created our cabinet, we actually have a little bit of an overhang on either side. I've put all the overhang at the moment on that right hand side. So up here is linked. If I go back to my drawing, I'll just go to my top view and see this a little bit better. Might just turn that around, but our door definitely does stick out a bit. If I go to inspect, move that down, and it should be about 8 mil. Yeah, so it's 8 mil overhang there. What we could try and do, we'll see if this will let us do it. We want to put moving this -4. And we'll say enter. Now I'm going to come to this part here, press the letter M, click on that corner, and I want that to go -4. Enter. So we've now got a bit of an overhang on either side. If I go back to my drawing, it should be telling me here that there is a problem because I don't have the most up-to-date drawing in here. So it might just be lagging at the moment, but when you then refresh this drawing, they'll shift across. So for our cabinet, we can look at having all of these down the bottom. Before we actually go to our next page, I want you to fill this information in here. So obviously, you'd put your name into here. Name. You can put our date into this. You can tell me what it is. You can fill in some more information here. So this can be your drawing number 001. And this task was given to you in term 3, 2024. Tell me some more. Who approved your drawing? Department. We can call this Taz. Just call it Taz for now. So if we then say finish properties, because we do this on our very first one, when we then say next drawing, it's going to be the same information over here. And this is where we want to look at Bringing our drawing in again, we wanted 1, 2, 5. We can look at separating this into, when we press OK, just the components that we're after. So if we look at our original drawing, I had just the carcass. So to recreate that, I'm going to look at getting rid of the door, the rail, thighs, and now I'm down to this section here. So I can be at this point here, and I might look at leaving it as that, giving myself that projected view, dropping that down to here, and my projected views, I want this, and to the right that, and then to the top. Enter. Sometimes the shaded in view makes it a bit harder to see all the components. So if we go just to the wireframe, and just like in the other part of Fusion, if we say letter D, we can look at projecting our dimensions back on this. We've got the tops, the bases, the sides, our shelf. We need to know the widths. We can have our 19mm, so we should line them up to be the same. So 19mm, at the top is still 19mm. The width from here, 19mm. Progress to our next drawing, base view, 1, 2, H, drop it in, we'll get our frame again, and for this one, I don't want the component, I want the individual door. Turn that part off, there we go. So now looking at what we've got there, if I double click on this, I could probably go to 1 to 5. Give me my projected view so I can see my door, and then I'll have my top and back. Drop that in. Letter D. Yeah, you can go from point to point like I was doing before, or you can pick up, oh, where's my letter D? Yeah, so we're picking up through to here. Our doors are 70. Mouse is lagging. With the construction that we have here, it does sometimes lose the drawing. So if we were to have a look at this, we might look at filling the door with some color to give us some depth. That'll make sense more when you print that out. So you can see it all. So we've got our doors, we've got our carcass, and then you can make a whole suite of drawings. So you can look at pasting the cabinet, calling the ratios, 1 to 4, and then have only one part visible. So if I was just have the cabinet left side, so just that. And this is if I'm looking at it front on. If I was to look at it from the right, now I'm seeing this. I could look at closing that, and I'd look at projecting the side of my drawing, the top of my drawing, and then closing that off. There's my 3D view. So my isometric view looks just possibly a little bit too big. dimension 750. Escape out of that dimension, go from corner to corner by 90, corner to corner 19. So this is definitely over dimensioned, just to get you to see where all these numbers are coming from. So you can give me every single component of your project. So there's your upright. Now you want you to, in here is where you'll be telling me what this part is. This is my cabinet upright. Once you've drawn your suite of drawings, you're then looking at exporting. Make sure you click Open PDF. Tell it OK and call it your Year 10 cabinet. It should be, it's going to go down here. Save to my computer and save to downloads. So we'll save that. That will then produce your 4 drawings in your project.